Well, she'll tell us, right? It's a picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. I thought I must have fainted. Which is exactly what I saw in that instant. Thanks to that, though, she's able to show us exactly what she saw. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, in the direction of Damon Gaunt and Lana Skye. She still had been fresh in her mind. Can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? All I could see was shadows. At the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who would come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. Lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. Knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me when Mr. Marshall jumped on him. I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. What happened after the lightning flashed? You mean you didn't see an actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. Objection! Flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. Anyway, from your talks with the detectives. Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. And that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well... No, I didn't mean to press. Fuck. Let's skip through this. Skip. Okay, maybe I should show the actual picture. What? Let me look through the evidence again. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew It's a blatant contradiction. What? I still remember like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
Take that!
Of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see the tip is broken. See that, Mr. Wright? Try to look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. Recall, the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. Conclusive piece of evidence that proved Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
Objection!
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. The victim was only stabbed once. Then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the beauty of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
Objection!
Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. It was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right, what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is that the witness's memory is mistaken.
Objection!
That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time. She was sure she remembered correctly. But, there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Objection!
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? There's something called falsified evidence. You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor. He's allowed me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. East Department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gaunt. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there's a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. That's Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? The accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instance, Emma really did see a broken knife. Other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. There's already broken parts in the murder. That's the only way. Look at this. Here's the real murder weapon.
Take that!
The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. For the award ceremony. Ah! This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon! Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall was holding. That's a broken knife! As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was no likelihood from this reward. Neil Marshall was awarded King of the Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shielded knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. The prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
Objection!
But that can't be! Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon. And the murderer and the victim would be reversed! What do you mean? I mean, this never-raising knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! There was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part of way deep inside me. It'd be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Skye? This should be interesting. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual.
Objection!
Try impossible! The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. He now begins cross-examination. Stop! Please don't pursue this any further. What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this! I already confessed to the crime! I can't just leave it at that! Chief Prosecutor Skye. You've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. What do you mean, you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I remember everything clearly, but I did. It's all kind of a blur. This Skye was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. There's so much happening in the matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. The person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. It was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? I'm gonna press it for this before I present evidence. Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who followed up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange, but I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before, somewhere. I finally remember.
Objection!
Yeah. Here's the conclusion. Was in fact this. That's what exactly is that? It is some sort of jar. Mr. Wright, it doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoints? It looks like it! To my defense, that this case hinges the width of this drawing. Alright, let's try again. I thought I had it! Oh, please. This is not where this ends. Oh, Lord. Have mercy on my soul. It is perfectly right. Don't tell me it's not. Oh my god, this is gonna be so annoying. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Oh my god, finally. Holy shit, that was annoying. Knowing and possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. Get this music off of my fucking headphones. No! It can't be! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performances, one question remains. What's your point? That badger thing was actually just a jar. Doesn't Doesn't change anything.
Objection!
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well, then. Please tell us what's different now that we know the witness stole this jar. Take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, while knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. From the shelf in the office of Damon Gaunt.
Objection!
But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. Witnesses testified so herself.
Objection!
Yes, and it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gaunt's office.
Objection!
You're implying the murder moved the victim's body. From Damon Gaunt's office to Lana Sky's office. Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion, that there was a reason. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. The next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? Would have had to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Gentlemen, I may draw your attention to this picture once more. The man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on. What would he have hit? Ah! The suit of armor holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. Since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, it would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There's another possibility that what actually transpired in that room. Whereas the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! I never imagined a testimony would lead to this. Witness took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. This case is an entire game's worth of case. Like, you can make an entire game with this case alone. I'm fairly certain of that. Yeah, we're about to head out, but I just started a little late, so I don't mind going a little bit late. God, this is such... We're at the end of this case, too. We spent, like, 4 or 5 streams. Like, this is our 3rd stream on this case, I think. I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances... Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma How dare you try to pin this crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. Oh, 100%. We talked about this in the previous stream, but when I played through this case, it took me the exact amount of time that we did play cases 1 through 4. The whole game's time, from 1 through 4, this case took me that much time. I remember it very vividly. The reason you moved the prosecutor marshal's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what we're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me. Do you have any conclusive evidence that proves that my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. It would be difficult to prove this with evidence. We don't have any evidence, and we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the accident are dead. Touche, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. Better or worse, Miss Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible! Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. I think when we have a good stopping point, we're going to stop this. Is that the blue badge from before, right? Oh, is he going to speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Message was left here, on the surface of this jar. Look closely. You see a faint trail of blood on the jar. Someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but not noticed. For some reason, the blood on some fragments was not wiped away. You're saying is these dots were once lines. Did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. When someone appeared, apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines have changed directions. Precisely so. All we need is to do at these points. The victim's message will become apparent. No! Leave for us. Your Honor. Know the answer. Defense attorneys do to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I have been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. I do wonder how they would do this in localization. That's a good question. I would have to, like, ask somebody. the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Chief Gaunt, understand the implications of what you've done. 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I love... We were talking about this earlier. I love that his fucking tie is a cross. Like, this is the most corrupt church man I've ever seen in my life, except not being a member of the church. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. But what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where the trial is headed, no one knows. And that is a good stopping point. So, with that, we will end the stream. And next time, we should be able to finish up this case. And if we have some spare time after that, we'll move on to the next game. I'm probably going to take a break from Phoenix Wright for a bit to play something else. I have a game in mind. We'll see. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. But for now, have a good evening. Thank you for coming, Onyx. Hopefully you can see the next stream. And if you don't remember, you can always look at the YouTube VODs for previous streams as well. But for now, have a good evening, and I will see you next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.